I would like to share with you Kirsten Lewis, who is another reigniter, back again by popular demand. She's an East Coast wedding and portrait photographer. She also works as a contract photographer for Richmond Magazine in Virginia. She's an active member of ISPWP, which I have no idea what that is, but it's Fearless Photographers and the WPGA. And she got a lot of attention last year. She did a very funny presentation, which has actually gained her some notoriety and has been booking speaking engagements since then. And I can see why. She's a funny girl, and maybe she's still single as she was last year. I don't know. Maybe there's a chance, guys. Hey, but welcome to the stage, Kirsten.
Hi, my name is Kirsten, and I'm a recovering online dater. 180 days today, my friends. I'm very proud. But don't get me wrong, I am still very much a 34-year-old single wedding photographer. Shocking for some of you, I know, because of the plethora of really stellar dating opportunities that came my way this past year. Take it in, folks. This is what you're missing. But you know you have a problem when complete strangers put flyers on your windshield that say 5 signs you might need help. Strange because my car was parked in my parents' garage. But I don't like to think of these things as failures. I like to think of them as outtakes. And just like my photography business, everything I've learned from my outtakes. Warning, we are now entering the PG-13 portion of this program. If you're easily offended, I suggest you close your eyes, plug your ears, or just go fuck yourselves. I'm just kidding, kind of. Okay, here we go. If you discover your significant other has been cheating on you 3 days before you have to shoot a wedding, I highly suggest you consider opting out of running the photo booth later that evening, because you might take your anger issues out on the wedding guests. And nobody wants to leave a wedding with bruised balls. If you spy a shit ton of drunk people crashing your very exotic, remote beach wedding, no matter how famous she is, no matter how starstruck you are, under no conditions should you let Tara Reid grab your camera. She could do anything. Grope the groom, motorboat the bride. Really, she's a loose cannon. Be prepared for situations not always going according to plan. I shoot a lot of beach portraits, and this past year, I started having my little kids sit together, and I told them to tell each other a secret. This was going very well until one sister turned to the other and says, "Mom and Dad aren't really your mom and dad. You were adopted." It was really hard to recover. Okay, dogs, I love dogs. I've done documentary portraits on dogs. I really encourage my clients to include their dogs in their portrait sessions. However, more recently, I realized sometimes they need a little more attention. Really? 50 frames of the entire scene and I noticed the black dog with a big giant boner? We strive to document the feeling of a moment as photographers. Every moment. The love, the joy, the kiss. Perhaps we shouldn't share every moment. For those of you that have never been to a wedding, this isn't the normal reaction a bride has when looking at her ring for the first time. This is what I call the holy shitballs moment. Okay. You need to work the scene and watch silhouettes. I highly suggest that you take multiple frames of the same scene because 1 millimeter of a second can completely change the image. My first thought, congratulations. My second thought, those are an interesting pair of pants. Finally, if your clients invite you to party with them after you're done shooting their wedding, by all means, join in. But put the camera away, because what could start very cute ends up with you being force-fed Bud Light by the underage groomsmen. Very classy and professional. In closing, I'd like to thank you all for letting me speak. And if I've offended any of you in any way and you see me this week, please, by all means, do not come up and tell me that. You keep that shit to yourselves. Thanks. Have a good night.